If you felt stuck trying to lose weight, you're not alone. Enter Weight Loss by Hers. It's designed to support you in reaching your goals. And Hers now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hers, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first GLP-1 available in a pill, so there are no needles needed. Everything is 100% online through Hers. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. And it doesn't stop there. Weight Loss by Hers goes beyond medication by offering access to 24/7 messaging with your care team and tons of in-app lifestyle and nutrition tips like recipes, meal plans, fitness videos, sleep content, and more. Even better, with a range of affordable GLP-1 options, Hers makes it simple to find an approach that fits your needs and your budget if eligible. You'll get a treatment plan personalized to you and unlimited dosage changes as needed. It's weight loss designed to work with your life. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/women to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/women. forhers.com/women. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A/S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
This is Sam Proof from Who Would Win Masters. We've opened new official channels and we want you there. Follow Who Would Win Masters on Instagram and subscribe to youtube.com/@WhoWouldWinMasters. And on YouTube, click the Visit Community button to leave your 1v1 battle challenges. Leave a comment and you might just hear it read on the show. Be a part of the arena, be a part of the debate. Now let's dive in.
What is up, everybody? Sam was having some technical problems to start off the episode today, so you're stuck with me at the start. No one here to introduce me. I think Sam has a routine that he would normally do here, and since we are the most professional of podcast operations, I did not look into it. I just hit let's start recording, and I just started talking at the camera. So hello to our audience who has joined us out here. Of course, if you join our Patreon, patreon.com/WhoWouldWinMasters, you can come watch every single recording of the wrap-up live. We're getting started a little bit late, but we had to get going at some point for the people on the East Coast, specifically. That's right. You know me, I'm Ray Stakatis. I'm your resident Who Would Win Master. Sam Proof hopefully will be joining us once he gets his technical stuff ironed out. But instead, we have our guest this week, who's going to be my surrogate Sam, as I would say, for the moment. You know him, of course, from the world of Batman versus Superman. You know him from the Croods. You know him from Young Rock. But most importantly, you know him from the Speed Racer versus Dominic Toretto battle of Who Would Win Masters. Kiff Vandenhuevel has joined us once again. Kiff, say hello to the people at home.
Hello to the people at home. I'm Kiff Vandenhuevel, and Ray, I couldn't be happier to come back here for the wrap up and to join you and to wrap things up and to talk about our fantastic battle, among other things.
Among other things, indeed, because we have a lot to talk about here. As we know, Speed Racer versus Dominic Toretto. This might be my favorite battle of the entire year.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, it is. When you get to have this level of insanity, when I get to talk about Fast and the Furious, we get to bring in older anime titles.
Yeah.
For the folks, the Gen Xers like me, I am like a pig rolling around in mud with joy, having a blast. Kiff, what was your first experience like? How'd you enjoy the battle? How'd you feel it went? Talk to me about that.
Ray, I was so nervous going in all honesty. And part of it, I think, is because it is the first time that I went head to head against you where we locked proverbial horns.
That's right.
Horns, get the pun? See where I was going there? Horns,
I like this.
Speed Racer and Dom Toretto. All right.
He's a demon on wheels.
He is a demon on wheels. And, but I truly was very nervous just because I wanted to make certain that I was bringing up the points that I needed to make and well prepared. And I felt really the best part of it, though, was just the amount of time I spent prepping, which was just this total immersion into Speed Racer territory and going back in and getting reacquainted with everybody from Pops to Sparky to Chim Chim and Spritle and of course Trixie and Mom and not being able to engage with them in my battle at all, but still just to get to really get behind the wheel of the Mach 5 myself and do that. And then when we sat down and went point by point through it, it was exhilarating. I just had so much fun. You know, we've known each other for a long time, so getting to spar a little bit rather than sit on the outside as a judge, really to get into the octagon with you was super fun. I just had the greatest time, and I really look forward to doing it again.
I love to hear that. I'm so glad that you were able to come back. And trust me, you know, if you had come in a few weeks earlier, you probably would have been involved in our summer tournament that we just set up the matchups for. But trust me, you will definitely have the opportunity to come back again.
Awesome.
You more than took care of business, as it were.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens if we pair up Yogi Bear versus Smokey Bear. I think that'd be an interesting mashup. Not a terribly exciting one potentially, but it could.
You know how many Smokey the Bear? Because let's face it, I'm taking Smokey in that matchup. And you know how many old PSAs I got to watch to look for superpowers that are hidden in plain sight? That would be an adventure.
You would have a shovel and a hat. I mean, Yogi basically has speed, has stealth. Has a lot of is fearless. There's nothing Yogi won't do to accomplish his goal. But we'll save that for the day. Hey Sam, good to see you.
Hey, Sam Proof is here. Is he here?
Hey, do I have Mike?
I can hear you absolutely. This is a good thing. I think.
Oh, thanks so much, everyone. I assume we've done all the good stuff and it's time to wrap it up, right? I got here.
Yeah, the show just ended. We appreciate you guys coming today.
Well,
Sam, take us up. No. So anyway, we're gonna talk about some of the exciting aspects of this very, very enormous battle. The enormity of which could be felt by all of us in the room, you know. And you talked about the exhilaration of doing the battle. That's the crazy thing, is because I, put the thing together. Is this enough? Can I get this argument over the hump? Can I convince Sam? Can I convince the people at home? And then you get in the middle of it, and you're just in it. And man, that is just that is a roller coaster ride in its own. Much like Fast and Furious at Universal here in.
That's right. That 30-second warning comes up so much faster than you expect, and it just forces you to be brief but concise and energized. I mean, that's the other part, is that your adrenaline takes over and it really does feel like a battle. I mean, it was just flashing back to when we recorded it. Like I said, I had flop sweat. I could feel my knuckles getting bloody as we got deeper into it, and Ray, we're friends, but once we got into it, as far as I was concerned, we were mortal enemies.
Enemies every time.
Absolutely. And, but I'm glad you didn't say anything that you would regret. And vice versa. It was just a magnificent time. And in truth be told, I loved the Fast and Furious movies. I love Dom Toretto. I just think that's underneath all of it was just this great spirit of love and respect for both of these fantastic properties. So to be able to mash them up like that was just really, it's what the show's all about. It's what the show's all about.
That was a ground rule going back to the original iteration of who would win. And that was something that I insisted upon, because I didn't think that before I joined the show, it wasn't like that. I wanted to make sure that both people are respecting both characters.
Yeah.
Because every episode we do, that's somebody's favorite character. And if we're on here talking about how much they suck, even if I'm opposing them, it doesn't do us any good. you know? And so I think that was the thing that I saw a lot in other properties that do similar things where they would like deride the characters if they were opposing them. And no, we're here to celebrate both characters and get them both the best they can be for the battle. And to me, that was definitely important. Great. That being said, we have one review this week. Sam, I'm going to try to kick it over to you.
All right.
Kiff was on board, ready to go for it, but this is officially the Sam will start. So let's hear it.
All right,
we got one big review.
Hopefully I can make it through. There's 3 whole sentences, it looks like. All right. This comes to us from Copyrighted Issues 2. It just says sad. All right. I now have to vote Matthew next time because I forgot to vote Kratos. Hashtag I kinda robber Matthew. Also, hashtag please A-Team verse the boys. It just says boys. I assume it's
versus
the
boys. He really wants it.
A-Team versus the boys. Wow.
There's more.
What a matchup that would be.
I mean, that clearly has to be without any compound V, and we're just talking about Butcher and his team, I would assume. But all right, let's see what else he says here.
I would assume.
Also, please do District 12 visitors from Hunger Games versus, I'm assuming this is the Gladers from Maze Runner. Never read or seen it. Only including, only including Newt, Thomas, Minnow, Albie, and Galley. All spelled funny. There's so many you can pick. You can only pick 5. LOL. Also, can't have a suggestion from a kid. I am the kid. Please, God, use a team my mom got me into, and I binged season 1 in 2 days, please. Okay. Think I did that justice.
So I don't know what's going on with that because we've gotten Copyrighted Issue 2 before. This is actually Copyrighted 2 Plays with a Z. So I don't know if this is a related person to Copyrighted Issue. There's a conspiracy happening right now. Is Copyrighted Issue 2 the mom?
The mom,
Copyrighted Issue 2 Plays the child.
Maybe.
You can't have a...
That's one way to read it. I also look at Plays. Reminds me of the way Lilu in The Fifth Element says please.
Interesting.
Since Copyrighted Issue 2 is asking for multiple future battles here, it could be begging for very specific lineups to come, but in that style of please bring us these.
That's fair, and we got to be careful. You can't have suggestions from a kid. I don't know where that rule came from. I do know we did get one.
Suggest.
I mean, Sam, we could talk about this. We had a very young person email the show with a 1-minute demo to try and debate me. And the kid was probably,
I would prefer the term unadult.
10 to 12 years old.
Unadult.
Yeah. Yes.
It was not an adult. And they said the thing, and I wrote back and I said, hey, this is fascinating to me, but we can't just have you on the podcast without parental involvement. And the reply I got back was, don't worry, it's okay, which is not a thing, not an email exchange you want to have with a young person over email at any point.
Nope.
And I had to kind of cut it off right there because it got a little too much, a little too weird. I would, if that person is listening, I really do appreciate the interest.
Oh man,
there's just ways that you got to do things.
A decent audition, and
it was a good tape. He was good.
We're going by Hollywood rules here,
but we got we got to be careful. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So when you get when you get to like high school, maybe then we could maybe set something up. But we got to have, I guess, maybe a strict age limit on the show.
Yeah.
Because I think the kid would have come out and kicked my butt. Quite frankly, I'm actually just in fear.
I think that's it.
That's fair.
That's it. Yeah, anyone under 13 is going to clean your clock.
And they're going to make me feel deeply uncool as they do it. I promise this. Every single step of the way. But Sam, we got to get some polls here because Mortalverse, our friends over at the Mortalverse Audio Dramas, had their Discord poll. And then our patrons on Patreon also, we had a poll there as well. That's remember, in these polls, every vote counts. We had a tie earlier. We had what was probably 1 or 2 votes from the victory. That's where Copyrighted Issue 2 was saying they forgot to vote for Matthew Harris in the He-Man Kratos battle, and he lost by 1 or 2 votes. I couldn't tell exactly how it went, but it was very close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was extremely close.
I'm going to go ahead and run our drum roll. Sam, if you got the Mortalverse poll in front
this is the unofficial Mortalverse poll first. And the results of the unofficial Mortalverse poll with 83 to 17% in favor of Speed Racer. All right. And again.
There you go.
How about that?
And that is the unofficial poll.
If I could get my soundboard to work, we'd have clapping right now.
That's the poll.
It's like this, but more. Just clone that.
It really does. Riverside soundboard. There is something. It's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I recommend everybody use Riverside for their podcasting, but not for their soundboard.
Not for the soundboard.
Their soundboard is trash.
Yeah.
It's a very bad soundboard.
Right.
The people at home must think, because I have to control the soundboard. Originally, me and Sam talked about it, but there was no controls for me to hand it off, as I am the owner of the account of Riverside.
Unfortunate.
And Riverside, you're taking strays in this episode. You didn't know it, but it's happening. And I could not give him the ability to take over the media board. So now I'm stuck trying to do the show and the soundboard, and I'm never prepared. And people must think I'm just an idiot every time the sounds are weird. You know, it's terrible.
Oh, man.
They're back on board. They're back on board, everybody.
All right, let's do the official Patreon poll. This is the one that counts.
I'm going to try to do the official Patreon poll. Here we go for all the marbles.
The results of the official Patreon poll was 67% to 33%. Dom Toretto from Fast and the Furious taking it from the
wait a minute, hold on. That's the wrong
thank
you.
The rim shot.
You know what? We're keeping it.
Not a joke, actually.
We're keeping it.
Keep
Don't
that
worry
around
about
for later. The jokes come eventually.
I love the soundboard.
At least it wasn't the toilet flush.
Oh my God. What's Whispers of Dawn? Why is there, hold on a sec, real quick. I have a sound thing. You can't delete the Riverside. You can't delete them.
Default.
I tried to delete them and they just come back next session. I have one called Whispers of Dawn and I don't know what it is. I'm playing it.
But it's Whispers.
I'll be honest, I love it.
That sounds like a copyright infringement is what that is.
And this is kind of like that moment. The cars are lining up for the race, that kind of stuff. And
honestly,
cameras moving along the side of the body of the car, cutting across the dash. You see, on one side, there's Dom leaning out there, revving his engine. Speed, checking his buttons.
Checking it. There's a lady in a bikini top
right.
and biker shorts.
Exactly.
And she drops a bandana. And when it hits the ground, they could both go. I see this.
Yep. Totally.
Honestly, but why is that in my soundboard undeletable?
Very usable.
Riverside, what is your deal, man?
Whispers at Dawn.
Could be used in any kind of production you could ever want.
That's right.
Really, just this one, just this episode, only in the wrap up. But we did it. I'm glad I checked, though, because that was honestly phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Okay, so Dom Toretto won the poll. I am just talking over our talking points. I'm sorry. I'm on a roll today, having a good time with it. Yes, Dom Toretto, 67%, 33%. Kiff, I know you must be happy about the Mortalverse poll, disappointed in the Patreon poll.
Well, I'm disappointed across the board with the results in general, but, I do feel like, you got a cartoon against a real guy. I mean, I understand that. And listen, Ray, I got to give you your props, man. You debated Dom extremely well. Your points were well thought out. You dealt with what I gave you well. I'm disappointed, but I can't argue with the end result. And I feel like, we've talked offline about this. I feel like my third act, I could have been stronger, sort of laying things out. And that's why I'm chomping at the bit to get into another one, to be able to really, go toe to toe with you. But, in terms of the Patreon poll, the people have spoken and it's a better margin than the Mortalverse poll. I do feel like it's a little bit closer. And from that, I think it's very fair. It's a fair assessment. And to the 33% who pulled for Speed Racer, I thank you from the bottom of my jump jacks.
There you go. See, I think I need to get one of these Hawaiian shirts for Fast and Furious. Sadly, they do not sell those at Universal Studios Hollywood in the new Fast and Furious ride shop that now exists. But if there is one, like a classy one, that has just like pictures of the family on it or the Fast and Furious logo with like muscle cars. I would wear any of that. And this would have been the episode to do it, but I didn't own it.
Of course.
So I was not able to do that. So instead you get pink Hawaiian today because that's how I'm feeling.
I am going to Universal in about 2 weeks.
We're going to take a very quick ad break.
Yeah.
Oh, see, we can. Yeah, that'd be great. We're going to go to a quick ad break here because that's what we do. And we'll be right back to read all your comments right after this.
All right, we're back. And it's time to jump right into the comments. I'll kick things off. This first comment comes from Ollie Lowe, who said, "This is another pair of franchises I know nothing about other than the memes of Fast and Furious and a Family Guy cutaway of what I think was Speed Racer many, many years ago. Anyway, I feel like two different debates were being argued here. I think Kiff was arguing that Speed would win the race, and I don't doubt that. I agree. I think Ray was arguing that Dom would win the fight, and I agree with Ray. If it came down to throwing hands and not gear levers, Dom takes it. I don't think he kills Speed, but I think he can probably incapacitate him for the required 2 minutes. And yeah, and that is ultimately the debate that was being had. Yeah. While they are masters of the road, this was not just a race, but a fight to at least incapacitation.
Yeah, I think putting him in like similar to a hammerlock or headlock and just like throwing him down and sitting on him, totally on the table
2 minutes
for a
of
battle
noogies.
like this. Although I do know Speed Racer. Yeah, he's a master of judo, so maybe harder than it looks, but definitely possible. I'll read the next one here, and then maybe Kiff, you could take the third one. We'll get you involved here.
Great.
But the next one here comes from Guardian. Hey, Guardian, how you doing? Thanks for being a part of the show. He says, "Great battle. If this was a race and they were car fighting towards a finish line, I'd give it to Speed. But since everyone agreed the fight would end up in a little more than a fist fight, it turned one-sided pretty fast. Great episode. Great guest debater. Email song last week was a little short. I agree. First off, I think our email song,
I think it was perfect.
The long version has become iconic. I think the people have clearly spoken. I wanted to try to give them the short version, but I think the long version just has too much staying power. While not as big a banger as the Sam's Decision song, definitely still banger worthy. And Kiff, you'll hear that very soon.
I'm looking forward to it. Excellent.
I mean, I think the short version just plays into the leave them wanting more thing. All right, take it away, Kiff. All right.
But what they want is the long version.
But you leave them wanting more. You don't give it to them.
But I do have to say I appreciate Guardian's kind words. Thank you for the shout out. And yeah, I didn't anticipate them getting out into the fist fight. Truthfully, I thought this was going to be truly a race behind the wheel. But Ray took it into fisticuffs, and when a guy can hold up an engine block with one arm, I don't care how much taekwondo and judo you can do, you're still gonna have some challenges. Hey, here's a comment from Eric Heiding.
Yes.
Hey, this was a good fight. If it were a battle of cars, Speed Racer takes it. He has the better car. Yeah. Whereas Dom has cool cars, but he switches cars all the time. However, this match isn't about who has the coolest car. It's who can win in a fight between Speed Racer and Dom. Speed Racer has more martial arts training than Dom, and more than I know before hearing of this match. But Dom is just too much for him. Plus, Dom isn't afraid to use guns. It's a good point. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't matter how well you can kick when you are looking down the barrel of a gun. Indiana Jones taught us that in The Last Crusade, and in Raiders of the Lost Ark, I might add.
I would argue all of them.
Yes, all of them, except for Temple of Doom. His gun was missing.
Fair point
in that bit. Anyway, this was an epic battle, almost as epic as Daredevil v. Killer Croc will be when it airs and wins all those awards. Thank you, Eric.
Of course, Eric Heiding is a member of the summer tournament. He will be in repping Killer Croc against Gina Ippolito's Daredevil, and we all wish him the best of luck.
Boy,
that
it's
is
going to be a tough one.
It's an uphill battle.
One. Oh, and Sam, why don't you go ahead and read the next one?
All right, I'll try and get the voice on this one correct. This next one comes to us from a little scamp known as Sam Proof. I think, was this off the Patreon? It says, it was
This
right
is on
there.
the Patreon. This was in reference to, I probably should have put it in there.
I was going to say,
it was a speed pun.
This is very out of context. It should have gone after the appropriate other comment, but it says, it was right there. How did I not work that into the episode? I believe somebody had used the phrase carnage in a comment, and I was like, I give up. I've done puns 52 episodes. I don't know how many episodes we've done, and I missed that. I feel like I have not done my part.
You know what it was? I did miss some of the context. The first part is, this battle is pure carnage.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I copied and pasted, I lost that part.
Yeah.
I do a really good job, you guys. I'm really good at this.
Boy, you're killing it.
You should play that sound.
I'm really winning every
clear
word.
it up.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have the the soundboard of that particular.
What is that?
Hold on, I've got the SpongeBob nude sting.
Oh, good. That'll definitely get us copyright.
There we go.
Perfect.
Great.
That's the one. That's what I use whenever we have to make a weird cut and I have nothing. There's no transition. You just get the sting, and it happens, sometimes. So I just have it ready to go at all times. Anyway, I put that there. That's not unlike this banger.
Oh no.
Whispers of Dawn. All right, enough of that. It's wonderful, though. That is really good.
That's great.
I'm going to read the next one. It's Ken Bjorn Turner. Hi, Ken Bjorn Turner. Thank you for being a part. Dom adopted the family mantra, whereas Speed Racer started that idea in racing, and his family is blood. Okay. Yeah. He adopted it, but I was born into it. Oh, I've heard that before. Speed Racer also has the far superior tech in the car. Even if Dom's car is faster, the Mach 5 could take shortcuts over, through, and around terrain that would pancake or otherwise destroy Dom's car. So you sound like there's a Speed Racer voter right there.
Yep. Thank you, Ken. Totally agree.
Kiff, why don't you go ahead and bring us home with Forbidden Mob here?
Forbidden Mob has a great post here. He says, this is a wild matchup. Man v. man, Dom takes it. Nothing is stronger than family, LOL. I don't think that's funny. I think that's true. Throughout the films, Dom gets practically superhuman strength and durability. Speed is no joke at hand-to-hand combat, but Dom is third wall broken string. But now it comes down to the vehicles. Mach 5 is better in every way than Dom's 1970 Dodge Charger. Faster, cooler gadgets, more durable and dexterous. Speed takes it. Just stay in the car, man. Don't get out or you're a goner. LOL. Just like an Apocalypse Now, man. Never get out of the boat. Never get out of the boat. I'm going to get me some mangoes.
It's very fair. It's a very fair point. Now, I do have a couple other comments here taken off of our Discord, and that's talking about the upcoming tournament that's going to happen, because people have thoughts and opinions. As you no doubt will be aware, if you haven't checked it out, we do have the tournament first round setup where we introduce all 8 competitors. We find out what random character they got, who their matchups are against. It's a great listen. I highly recommend it if you're interested in following along this summer, and it's out there for you. But we have some people commenting about it, and I figured I'd throw these in here too, because we got Snappy, who says Robert Clark Chan taking the gamble was pretty hilarious. And if you don't know this, Robert Clark Chan had Kraven the Hunter chosen in his back pocket. And then at the very end, I offered anybody, if they really wanted to get off of their character, because you got 2 random and you had to pick them, you could take one more shot in the dark at just rolling the die at whoever was left, sight unseen, then you have to take that character. And Robert Clark Chan as Kraven the Hunter, great character. You could do a lot with him in one of these battles.
Sure.
And because he is Robert Clark Chan, he said, no, I'm a self-sabotager. I'm going to roll the die and take what I can get, because that's good radio. And he ended up with Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a property he does not like. does not want to be involved with. And even before he did it, I told him, you're going to make a mistake with this. This is not the right way to go. Anyway, that's what we're in reference to. He says, I love the Texas Chainsaw movies, but unfortunately, I think he lost one of the strongest characters, Craven, for possibly the most underpowered one in the entire tournament.
Oh, my God.
And that is a fact, potentially. It's going to take some severe creativity to get him to thrive here. In order to get something going, I would probably do something cheesy and choose the Mortal Kombat X guest character version of Leatherface. Not a bad idea. Or something like that. At least he'd have Mortal Kombat levers of durability, and his chainsaw has some magical properties. Look, Robert Clark Chan's in trouble in that matchup. Nobody can doubt it. Nobody can doubt it. But we'll see what happens. You never know. I've had some of these battles. I felt like it was slam dunk. I'm obviously going to win, and then I just get crushed. And sometimes it's a bad judge's decision. Sometimes the people still agree. So what are you going to do? Sometimes, you feel one way and then you get into it, you get punched in the mouth and things happen.
Yep.
I guess. But
Sam, we got one more over here. Talk about the tournament. I thought we're worth doing.
Yeah. It looks like I got Ollie Lowe again. Talking about Mr. Freeze versus Chewbacca. He says, I feel like this is the one I'm anticipating the most of the four. No offense to the others. I mean, Mr. Freeze, Chewbacca,
Freeze
that's
versus
interesting
Chewbacca.
for sure.
That is an interesting matchup, man. That's going to be a really wild battle.
I like that one. And that's the other. Matthew Dawson has Mr. Freeze, and he also went for the random draw because he ended up with Sergeant Slaughter as his character. Made a big deal about, I really like the idea of taking a G.I. Joe character. I don't know a lot about him, but I know that's Ray's deal, and maybe I can come out and be impressive. And then the millisecond he had a chance to drop him, he absolutely took that chance. And unlike Robert Clark Chan, ended up with I believe, a stronger character.
I definitely, I think that's again,
there's a lot you can do with both of them.
Yeah. I mean,
he also is,
Freeze,
he's the mind behind the Mortalverse DC hero audio dramas. So if anybody knows about Mr. Freeze, it's the guy writing his own DC sort of Mortalverse audio dramas. So you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are all the comments that we have right there. So all definitely, we could use a little bit more. So next time we're doing this, I want to see double the comments. I want the show to go 9 hours long. Let's do it. And you can do all that as a free member, not free trial, free member at patreon.com/who-would-win-masters. We're not, if you want to throw a few bucks in and help us out with the stuff, that's great. It's not expected. We just want a few more free members to come on in, and we'll show you. Remember this. Movie night. We'll talk about that later, but we will show Low Rollers, the no budget, gross out comedy that I made over 15 years ago about the seedy world of competitive marbles tournaments. That's right. We will show it on stream. I have maybe one of 3 copies to exist in this world. I don't know why I have one, but I do. And it's magical. You'll see me with better hair. And it's no glasses, and it's a really great movie if you like really offensive comedy. That's what we were really going for. So that is, I highly recommend it. And we only need about 10 more patrons to join. And I'm just going to sit back until you do it. It's free. If you're listening to this, there is a decent percentage chance you're not on the Patreon. You could just go do it and be a part. So anyway, I'm done shilling. We're going to go to commercial break right now so we can shill in a completely different way.
And we're back.
All right. Kiff, how are you feeling so far? How is your first wrap-up treating you?
My first wrap-up is treating me fantastic. I mean, it's first of all, the comments have been thought-provoking and positive. I got, as I told you earlier, I got dragged on Instagram a couple weeks ago for my horror breakdown. If people are interested,
can we talk about that really quick? Because this is good conversation to have right here.
Yeah,
because you were at a Comic-Con, I assume.
I was at WonderCon. I was doing a signing at WonderCon. Yeah.
And the gentleman in the video had you on his feed, and he was showing you 2 horror movies or 2 movies, and you had to sort of, which one do you prefer? which one continues on. We've seen this content before. I'll be honest, I got mad at you a little bit with some of the choices that you made. But you know what? I mean, look, you stood by your guns.
Yes, I still stand by it. And after, at the end of the day, it was what on the podcast Random Fandom, and those guys are terrific. A lot of Detroit guys on that show. And the first pairing was Get Out versus Us.
It's tough.
It is tough, and I'm a Jordan Peele fan. I really, in all transparency, I really love psychological horror and thrillers more than I do the slasher horror style of horror film. I opted for Us in that one, and then it was Us and Nope. And Nope for me is my favorite Jordan film. I just think it's multi-layered, and it made me afraid of the sky. Like, that's insane. And then I rode Nope all the way to The Exorcist, and gave it to The Exorcist, of course, because The Exorcist is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
but I selected Nope over The Thing and over Halloween, and have been called everything but a white man because of that. And
I will say, when you chose Nope over The Thing, I got great respect for Jordan Peele and his movies. Obviously, he's a brilliant filmmaker. I just now was it the Thing remake or The Thing original? Because I took it to be The Thing original, and I took umbrage with that myself. Not to the point of saying mean comments online, because who has the time for that?
Right,
but like, you get
to say mean comments directly to my face. We're friends.
That's right.
So there was no need to put them into public record. When you say The Thing remake, which Thing are you talking about? Because The Thing remake, the original Thing, is
that's true.
The black and white pre-John Carpenter's reboot of The Thing.
Mm-hmm,
and it's The Thing from Outer Space, which is a terrific picture. And listen, I love John Carpenter's The Thing. I think it is a masterpiece. It is a psychological thriller. It is nothing but existential dread. When that question was asked, I mean, I walked away from the guy. I'm like, why are you making me choose between these two films I hold in tremendously high regard? And I had to make a decision in the moment, and I chose Nope because Nope sticks with me harder and longer than The Thing. I love The Thing, man. But I watch The Thing and it's done, and I go, man, what a great movie. But then I watch Nope, and for a week I don't want to look at the sky.
Yeah,
and as well as like other layers of things happening in that film, from the sequences with Gordy to knowing people involved in making that film. And I just think it's one of the more inventive horror pictures that I've seen in a long time. And that's why I opted out for that. Halloween's great. Yes. Final Destination. Yes. They're all terrific pictures. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It's just my choice and my preference.
So you heard it here first, everybody. Kiff Vandenhuevel hates John Carpenter, thinks he's a hack.
Come on. There you go. Well, quick question for you.
Yes,
What's better? What's better? If you were doing this, The Thing or Halloween?
I would go with The Thing over Halloween. I would.
God. The Thing or They Live?
Oof, boy. I would go with The Thing over They Live.
Yeah.
The Thing over The Fog?
I would definitely take The Thing over The Fog.
Yes.
I would take They Live over The Fog, too.
So, best John Carpenter movie?
Best Ghosts of Mars.
There you go.
I just made that up, but I mean, that's fair.
It is. I mean, it's The Thing, right?
Yeah. Escape from New York, definitely high on my list.
See? Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble. Come on.
Big Trouble in Little China is, I would probably say,
it's Big Trouble.
If I was being real, man, we're talking about my favorite is Big Trouble in Little China. The one I think is his best work is The Thing.
So like that distinction, I think, is really important when you come down to, we're going to talk about your favorite horror movies. What is your favorite versus what is the best? You talk about craftsmanship. I mean, how do you, I think Jordan Peele would say that The Thing is a better crafted film. Like the tension, Ennio Morricone's score, the ensemble cast. But, to me, this is 98 versus 97. Like, how do you weigh it? And it does become about I've talked more in my household about Nope with my wife and my daughter, far more than we did about The Thing. And
I would say my top 10 list of movies that I enjoy, my favorite movies, and my top 10 list of movies I think are the best movies are pretty much completely different lists, but both have number one the same. Of course, Jason X. Because that's just a masterpiece, and I think we can all agree.
All right. Yes, agreed. Jason X beats all.
Thank you. So I've got an email here from Luke. Luke sent us an email, which you guys know what that means, right?
Yeah.
You guys know what that means. We're playing the long version of the email song.
I'm going to go make a sandwich. All right.
Let's hear from the community. Reading emails is our destiny. You've got a voice, you got something to say, and we're gonna read them, 'cause it's annoying to read. Now it's time to end this song before it gets to be way too long to do anymore. We just prolong this intro, which would be wrong. It's Who Would Win Masters. Email time. It's Who Would Win Masters. Email time.
Boy, every time I hear it, it gets better and better. I'm not going to lie. Kiff, how do you feel about the email song?
I love the email song. I'm kind of blown away that I was able to lip sync it after not hearing it before. Like that was I lip synced it live.
Are you trying to say my lyrics are predictable?
Completely predictable. The rhyming, I just got ahead of it.
But no, it's fair. Look,
but it's a jam, dude. It's fantastic. It's no Whispers in the Dark, but it is a really terrific.
Can I tell you, that's our next Who Would Win poll. Whispers in the Dark or the long version of the email song. That will be going on Patreon as this drops. So look for that. It is on there. You can vote right now as you listen to this. That is an important question.
I think that may be worthy of an actual battle. Like
we might have to have rounds.
Which song would put the other song out of the arena?
Yeah, there's a battlefield removal clearly happening on this one. That is
absolutely.
A fact. Sam, has the long version of the email song grown on you at this point?
I left when I made a sandwich. I hit the bathroom. So I do appreciate that I have the amount of time to step away. That's nice.
You know, when I used to work in radio, we had songs that we would internally refer to as dump songs.
Right, it's the Freebird.
And dump songs tended to be 7-8 minutes long at minimum, and you would put them on for a specific reason.
Yeah.
But we don't need to worry about that. I think it's time to finally get to Luke's email. I'm stalled enough.
There.
He says, I'll bring it over here. Dear... Oh, gosh. Then I keep
it's your name, then
Ray,
my name.
Sam, and Kiff. That's right. This was one of the more fun battles you've put out! S rank for this one, solely because I got a lot of good laughs out of this bad boy. Speed Racer versus Dominic Toretto. Full disclosure, I have not seen either of these things, but I plan to sometime this month. Therefore, my brain is only going off what you fine gentlemen were saying during the debate. I honestly think both of you are right, and yet part of me also sides with Sam's decision on Ray with Dom. This is my unofficial opinion. Could still end in a draw, as it, unlike James Bond versus Solid Snake, it looks like they're evenly matched. What one guy lacks in something, he makes up for it in something else, vice versa. Unlike James Bond versus Solid Snake, this potentially ending in a draw makes sense to me, at least by some accounts. But still, I am torn between Sam's decision and the potential of a draw. I apologize for the fact that my brain keeps flip-flopping between opinions and our possibilities as you're writing it. The stream of consciousness, I love it. By the way, Sam, great jokes off the top. There you go. So nevertheless, we got some hashtags. We got hashtag gotta go fast, hashtag Ray is right, hashtag Kiff's got it, hashtag Sam knows, hashtag Sam's decision song, hashtag Sam's decision song extended, hashtag family, hashtag headphones, hashtag bread. Thank you for another fun battle. And now I'm going to go play Mario Kart with my brother again as a byproduct.
Very nice.
Luke,
Very
we
nice.
appreciate you. And thank
you, Luke.
Thank you very much, Luke, for the kind
awesome
words.
I like that. Yeah. #bread. And I think that's a shirt we got to make.
Yeah. We never had bread as a sponsor before, and I hope they'll be back.
Yeah. They're doing great things. I just wanted to say
I don't know who books our sponsors, but they get some weird choices in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say the one thing where he said he was torn between my decision and the potential of the draw. I can't pull a draw. I have to make a choice. So
you're not allowed to. No.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. This was absolutely. I mean, going in, this was a perfect contender for a draw. I mean, even for not having the ability to use family, but both of them really having family being a massive part. There's just so many comparisons that are they have more in common than what they don't.
Shockingly.
I mean,
yes.
I could see Speed just evading the conflict, ad nauseum until both cars run out of juice. But in light of that, in lieu of that, I had to go somewhere.
I love it. Well, Sam, why don't you kick us off with some Discord versus battle suggestions? We keep getting them on the Discord. We'll keep talking about them. And maybe just get in the moment, who do we think would win sort of in the moment of these battles?
Sure. Yeah, we've had a bunch of really cool ones come across the Discord. They're getting posted several every day. And if you're not already over on the Discord, hit us up for the link or go to the Patreon and find the link there. All right, the first one, and this comes to us from Matthew Dawson, is Goku versus Shaggy, but this is in an eating competition.
Oh man,
see, that's interesting because they could both put it down.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you could add in Dagwood from the Blondie comics. Also,
I was going to say you could add in Homer. Homer Simpson. Go for
Homer Simpson. Definitely can. I think Shaggy can eat a lot, but I think Goku does it on a cosmic level. So I think I would go with Goku. Also, he's an alien with different physiology, but Shaggy can go. I don't know. That's really tough.
I would back Shaggy in this debate largely because his metabolism is practically cosmic level. You don't see Shaggy ever put on any weight whatsoever, given the volume of what he eats. And with Goku being an alien, maybe he could eat a ton of things, but there might be something that he encounters that's toxic. Where is this competition taking place? Is the eating competition here on Earth? And if that's the case, perhaps he runs across, shellfish and as an alien can't process that and then chokes out.
I would say that this has to have different tasks where it's what is the biggest thing they can put in their mouth at one time? What is the most they can consume in 3 minutes? And what is the longest they can go? I think you got to break it down into a variety of those kind of tasks. Ray's making a face.
And reclining, falling asleep.
That was uncomfortable. What I would say here is it is an eating competition, not who could eat the most substances without stopping, but who could eat the most maybe in a certain period of time, like the Nathan's hot dog eating championship. And who knows? I've seen them both go hard. So these are good questions we got here. Well, the second one we got here is Green Lantern Fox McCloud versus Sith Lord Donkey Kong from Ali Lo. So that would be Fox McCloud, aka Star Fox, with the powers of Green Lantern, versus Donkey Kong with the powers of a Sith Lord. I don't even know what to make of that, if I can be honest with you. Sometimes these battles get a little too crazy.
Donkey Kong's would he be throwing laser barrels?
So that would be
laser, which would be super cool. Yeah, essentially, Kong would have his cart, a lightsaber, but probably a banana type of lightsaber.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. And Fox McCloud using the powers of the Green Lantern. How creative is he? Look, his ship alone is not the most creative design we've ever seen.
Sure. Yeah, but how's his will? How is his will? Yeah. I mean, how what kind of constructs would he be really it would mostly probably be defensive, I assume, because the Sith are becoming, really hard in the paint.
It's true.
And Donkey Kong is an aggressive, type of I don't want to say villain in this context, but potentially.
Yeah, and Fox McCloud, I know he's got strong willpower to kind of push himself through those missions. I mean, the only thing he really can't do is barrel rolls with his team when I'm playing him. But like aside from that, I think Fox can get it done. I think so. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Kiff, why don't you go ahead and hit us with the third one here?
Finally, is Waluigi from Wario, right? Then it's Waluigi, versus Puss in Boots. Luke presents us this question. Man, I gotta say, I'm a little hobbled by this. I haven't spent much time in Wario land. So Waluigi, I don't know what his powers would be, but I do know that Puss in Boots has superhuman level swordsman skills, along with the ability to make everyone swoon when he takes his hat off and gives the cute eyes. So it's a hard one for me to call. Guys, where do you land on this in this conversation?
Yeah,
Sam, you go first.
I'm not super familiar with Waluigi either. So I'm like, does he get some of those power-ups that Mario kind of gets? Because if he does, that changes things a lot. But I also feel like on the surface level, Puss in Boots does seem like the go-to winner for this.
It's tough. Now, I will say right now, a couple of years ago, I repped Waluigi in a Who Would Win battle. And that being said, I do not remember a single thing that he does. I remember it being very limited in what I had to work with.
Yeah.
So I will say Puss in Boots for combat training.
Yeah,
definitely. The Antonio Banderas factor to me is also very, very large.
Sure. Yeah,
I would go with Puss in Boots in that battle.
He's extremely charming, and I think charm goes a really long way.
I think Lenny and Squiggy might have been a better.
Well, thank you very much. And go on our Discord and and go on our Discord and go ahead and suggest some battles for us. We will talk about them in the moment. I don't know that they're, always going to necessarily become episodes of the show, but it's definitely a good conversation that we want to keep on having. We got a couple more segments here before we get out of town. A couple rounds of what are we watching? And I'll go ahead and start us off here because I've been playing Elden Ring. As you may know, if you're a Patreon member, I've been posting videos of me playing Elden Ring and getting my butt absolutely handed to me over and over and over again. That video with the cat is maybe one of the most... I crashed out minimum 2 times during that series of battles. I was struggling with it. I realized afterwards, now that I know a little bit more about the game, why I was so bad. But you know what? These things can happen. We had a good time with it. We did. We got a 4, soon to be 5 episodes up on the Patreon right now, and there's a lot more. I've just been playing it like crazy. And pretty much instead of watching or playing anything else, I'm just playing Elden Ring right now. I probably put a good 25 hours at least in at this point. It's a very, very good game. I'm not a fan of the Dark Souls-like genre. I didn't like Dark Souls. I didn't like Sekiro. I love Elden Ring. You know what? This one really captures what this game can be in a way that I didn't feel like those other games did. So I don't know what's different. Is it the open world? Is it the George R.R. Martin lore? I don't know. But my goodness, I'm having a good time getting mauled over and over again.
Right on. Awesome. And the clips keep coming, which is great. Okay. I'll take the next one. I've been watching Unchosen, which is, I believe it's on Apple, if I remember correctly. And it is an escaped convict finds his way into this, this takes place, I'm pretty sure, in England, but is a very Amish-like cult. Not that the Amish are cults, that's not what I'm saying, but also they're never going to see this, which is good. But so he finds his way into this, very religious sect and is hiding out from the police and kind of through both manipulation and charm just solidifies his place in their community. And it's, it's a thriller and it's a little unhinged and it's kind of like watching a present day Handmaid's Tale with just this extra added thing to it. So it's like, it's a little uncomfortable at times and it's kind of fascinating.
Sam, it's so wild that you mentioned that. That's exactly what Sherry is watching right now while we are recording this.
How about that?
Yeah. When you I didn't recognize it by the name, but when you started going into the description, the actor who plays Jon Snow is in that show, right?
Oh, Kit Harington.
Right.
Yeah. The Black Knight from the MCU.
Yes.
Yes,
Allegedly.
he is the
Allegedly.
the convict. Also go on.
I just finished and highly recommend, after binging Peaky Blinders in anticipation of the movie, Stephen Knight created a series called 1,000 Blows. And 1,000 Blows is on Hulu right now. The second season just dropped. And this show is tremendous. It stars Stephen Graham from, Adolescence, Pirates of the Caribbean, a million other things, as this sort of, he's a pub owner in turn of the century East London. And he and his brother own this pub with a boxing ring in it. And two young men from Jamaica come to London to try to make their way. One wants to be a lion tamer. The other wants to be a prize fighter. And you find out more about them over the course of the series. But then also at the same time, there is this group of petty thieves, a group of women petty thieves called the 40 Elephants. And they are running around kind of in this Peaky Blinders vibe as well. It's this mashup of all of these people on a collision course towards some of the most dynamic performances. The production design is gorgeous. It's just outstanding historical drama. 1,000 Blows on Hulu. I think if you're into that kind of stuff, and if you dug Peaky Blinders, I think you'll really, really enjoy this show. Great time.
Awesome. Yeah, I did. Peaky Blinders is one that's, it's unfortunately fallen in the cracks for me. I haven't seen that one yet, but it looks great.
It's I love it.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's something else. It takes a minute to get on board with it, but once you do, it's really satisfying. And Tom Hardy and Adrian Brody, and of course Cillian Murphy is always brilliant in that show. Yeah, highly recommend.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and loop us back in. This is a quick one because I've been rewatching the Sledgehammer TV show, one of my favorite shows of the 1980s. I absolutely loved it. I wanted to see, does it hold up? The answer is, for the most part, yes. The jokes come a lot faster and more furious than I really remembered, and the performances are wonderful. It is obviously, a situation comedy. But you know what? I've been about halfway through season 2, and I've sort of fizzled out. Season 2 was brought back, and unlike most other television shows, they brought back season 2 and then cut the budget in like half. Usually you get more money to make season 2, but in this particular case, they didn't believe in the show, but they wanted a season 2 for whatever reason. So they gave them no money. It's a lot of it is very derivative. It's just not as fun as season 1. Maybe they got truncated timelines. The people making the show are still brilliant. I'm not trying to rip on them. It's just, obviously there was something that happened outside of their control, which made the product not as fun as season 1. So after about like 8 or so episodes in, I want to finish it, but it's been a little bit rougher of a go than season 1, where I was just delighted for the next episode to come on. So that's all. I'm not here to try to spread negativity. Everyone should check out Sledgehammer. Kiff, I know you've seen the show.
Oh, yeah. David Rasche is the lead, and I mean,
it's phenomenal.
So much fun. In that vein of the Police Squad and all that stuff. It's just super fun, dumb comedy, and a great time, especially the first season.
Yeah, and a lot of parody stuff. They really did lean into the parody a little bit more in season 2. Not that it wasn't all over season 1 as well. The episode I keep hoping to get to is the RoboCop parody, where where he gets killed in duty and comes back as a crime-fighting android named Hammeroid. It's absolutely phenomenal. That's a good episode.
That's fantastic. Oh my God. All right. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything for Kiff, but I did see the Peaky Blinders Immortal Man movie, which is kind of...
I did too.
You did see it. Okay. So it is
but there are people listening maybe didn't, so we'll go
I'm not going to spoil it. But this wraps up the Tommy Shelby story and hands it off to his son, sets it up for the season that's coming up. It has Tim Roth on as a great... I mean, Tim Roth's always great, right? He's fantastic in this. And it's a really interesting sort of premise that, like, there's this kind of unknown part of World War II where the Germans tried to like crash the British economy by flooding the market with these like just millions and millions of counterfeits. And it's such a weird premise in a lot of ways, but it just sets things off, and it's a fun ride, and I think, it was a good way to just wrap up the original show. I loved it.
Yeah. 100%. I throw a thumbs up behind it.
Totally.
We got to see it at the Egyptian Theater during its short run, and nice. So awesome to see it on the big screen, but without subtitles, so I didn't understand half of what was being said.
That's true.
Which made it challenging.
Yeah, there's a few things. I think Stephen Graham does some really throws out some lines so you're like, I think I know half of what he said. I get the gist of it. That guy shouldn't have done that.
That's right. Basically, you're just understanding the motivation of characters.
Yeah.
Sometimes the show is about vibes.
That's right. It's about vibes.
Yeah.
Man, I'm struggling on what to recommend next. I have so many things that I've watched recently, but I'm going to go. I was just talking about this the other night on my Instagram reel, and I'm probably going to finish it tonight. Arrow Video released just recently the original Salem's Lot, the original miniseries. And a lot of folks aren't aware of the fact that the movie was actually a 2-part, 2-night event on CBS.
Oh, wow.
It's 3 hours and 50 minutes long, with David Solve is the lead from Starsky and Hutch, and James Mason, and then a cavalcade of character actors from the 70s. And man, talk about getting scared with a show that was that was like under network censorship and still just absolutely terrifying. Well, what Arrow released is the first 4K disc has both nights on one disc, unedited, and then they also have an edited version of one like sort of supercut, kind of like the Kill Bill Whole Bloody Affair. On the second disc is the international sort of re-edit that made it sort of the feature that a lot of folks may be more familiar with, going in on on sort of Stephen King's classic vampire tale. But it's a beautiful transfer. The discs are fantastic. And boy, does it hold up when the little vampire boy is floating outside I'm just describing it. I've got chills, just scratching on the window, trying to get his brother to let him in. Absolutely terrifying and so well executed. If you follow me on Instagram, then you already know I'm a huge physical media fan. I just don't like, having shows I like or projects I've either bought or whatever being taken away by the media companies.
Thanks. Yeah.
So I prefer to spend the money and own the discs. And Arrow really does some fantastic transfers. Their Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer releases are outstanding. They just did Excalibur, and we've been waiting for a 4K of Excalibur for a long time. So that's what I'm watching in this moment. When we're done, I'm going to go watch night 2 and keep myself awake tonight.
I love that.
That's what's up.
I love that. Yeah, and I also am a fan of physical media. I have a ton of DVDs here. Obviously, that's how we do movie nights, because you can't share and stream Netflix, but you can physical discs. So yes. I'm gonna keep on getting them. One real quick thing before we end this segment is I'm just gonna say it out there. We had a challenge at my workplace of who could on their own make a video game, a small scale indie video game, sort of on their own, and have it sell $100 on Steam. That's the goal. Wow. And so I have been spending the last couple of weeks working on my very own indie psychological horror game that I'm by the end of this week, potentially it could be done and in final rounds of smoke testing and play testing. It's
amazing.
Small. It's personal, I guess. And it's not a huge game by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm so proud of being able to sort of put this thing together. I've never made a game before, and awesome. You can do that now. I guess you could do it other times in history too, but it's very easy now. And so, yeah, so I'm going to be doing a bunch of the VO for it. And it's just going to be this short little experience that I'm going to maybe put on Steam at some point in the next, who knows, maybe by summer for like $1.99 that you guys could potentially go check out. So I just want to put it out there. And I'll definitely let people on the show know when that's a thing. So keep an eye on all
that's fantastic, Ray. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, and so hopefully people like it. It's like I say, it's a short indie, lo-fi experience, if you will. But yeah, I think there's a little something there. So hopefully people will like it.
Awesome.
Side note, I've been putting out these Elden Ring videos. We put out some horror slap videos, one of my favorite genres. You tell me on the Patreon and on the Discord what do you want to see? Hit me up on Instagram. I don't care. What videos do you want to see me make? Are there games you would suggest? Are you liking the Elden Ring? Are you not engaging with the Elden Ring? You tell me exactly sort of what you want to see, because I'll make it. I've got a ton of these horror slap games lined up. I've got a ton of Elden Ring videos lined up. We put out 4 as we record this. I have 12. So that's what I'm trying to. I have a lot of content to eventually share. I'm trying not to put the floodgates out and have it just kind of like roll through super hard. But I wanted to ask the question, which takes us into movie night once a month for Patreon patrons. We do movie night where I bust out my USB DVD player and we go through my collection of DVDs. The people ultimately choose what movie we watch. So we promised an action movie last Friday as we record this. And so the 3 choices were Virtuosity, one of my all-time favorite movies, Punisher Warzone, another one of my all-time favorite movies, and Hard Target, yet again, one of my all-time favorite movies. The people chose Punisher Warzone, but there was something wrong with my disc.
Oh, no.
It was like, be it all, like the visuals were all crappy. So we went to their second choice, Hard Target, and had an absolute blast watching that movie. I haven't watched it in a while, and I love it so much. I love it so much. And I hope the people enjoyed watching it with me. Once a month, we'll be doing this. And so I just wanted to put it out there. We'll let you know ahead of time when we're doing it. Keep an eye on the Patreon and other places. Join for free. You can come and hang out for a Friday evening or what have you and just watch a fun movie. That's what it's all about.
That's so awesome, man. If you'd ever be open to having a guest programmer, let me know.
I'm always open to that.
Shares, happy to bring over my disc wallets of madness and go see what we could find. That'd be awesome.
If you're asking me to do less work for this show, the answer is yes. I would love to.
Sorry, I just love movie nights, man. I love putting movies on, especially if things that people haven't necessarily caught up with or would love to see, or just, you just never know, man.
I love it. Eventually, I put it up a couple of times. It hasn't been chosen, but my The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. I don't know if you know this movie.
Yeah.
Kiff. I want to show it for movie night so bad, and they just don't pick it. But it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Such a great pick, man. Dude, have you seen The Good, the Bad, and the Weird?
I have not.
It's fantastic. If you took The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and Mad Max, Fury Road,
okay,
and Wild Wild West and jam them together, you get The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It's a Korean action picture, Korean Western. It's really, really, really fun.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to invite you to come on over then for a future movie night. You can hang out in the garage
awesome.
and then crush a few and then watch some fun movies.
Count on it. Let's
love
do
it. Love it. You're getting an invite. Let me see. So we got that. So Kiff, we're about to wrap it up over here. Let the people at home know where they can find you, or any last words to the fans of the show.
Awesome. So I am on Instagram at KiffVH, KIFFVH. My website is kiffvh.com. I got demo reels up there. If you are, if you're interested in voice acting or acting in general, I have a podcast called All Over Voiceover that I've been producing for years. And it's I think it's a terrific show. I made it for you. I made it so that people can have information that I simply didn't have when I got started. I'm really, really proud of that content. I think there's a lot of great aces you can keep. I've had agents, directors, actors, casting directors come on and talk about this work, people talking about vocal health all of those kind of things. So if it's something that you've ever been interested in, check out that show. It's really great. It's wherever your podcatcher of choice, wherever you're listening to Who Would Win Masters, you'll also be able to find All Over Voiceover. I've got a couple of things that I've worked on are still playing and I think are fantastic, like Splinter Cell Death Watch is on Netflix. I played Douglas Shetland on that. Outstanding show. If you're into it, goes hard in the paint. Also Tokyo Override. It really goes well with this pairing we just did, Ray. I mean, it's a great motorcycle inspired anime sponsored by Honda, and it's really beautiful looking and really fun. It just kind of hits it in all those things. So check those out. I got more stuff coming out later on this year that I'm excited to talk about when those things drop.
Of course. Can I just say right now, real quick, that I am a longtime listener and fan of All Over Voiceover podcast. So it's always in my rotation. When a new episode comes out, it goes right in the queue. So if you are interested in voiceover and the craft, I've learned a ton by listening to that show. About the business, about how you conduct yourself, how you breathing technique. There's all kinds of stuff that I have picked up from that show. So if you have any kind of passing interest in voice over, absolutely you should be checking it out. It is a masterclass in what to do.
Thank you so much, Ray. It's been a blast to make. Yeah, good. I think it would really help you out, Sam. I think it would help you in a lot of different ways.
So they're gonna make me say the.
Oh man, my pleasure. I look forward to coming back another time after the.
All right, what you doing what you doing this weekend? Anyway, the point I'm trying. We got the next battle, everybody, and I know you've been waiting with bated breath to find out what our next battle is, and it's time. I need a long drawn out song for next battle, I think, to go with the email song. But the next battle we're gonna do, this is the big, literally size wise, maybe the biggest battle we've ever done. We've got Godzilla, King of the Monsters, versus Ultraman. Woo! The very famous monster kaiju killer from his own set. Shockingly, I thought when we were talking about this that these are two characters who clearly had fought each other in a movie before, given their histories. No, they have not. Each one has fought a fakey version of the other in their own properties, but they have never actually matched up, which makes it even more interesting. So we got Godzilla versus Ultraman. If you like kaiju, you like big monsters, you're going to love this battle. And we're joined with Nick Scheist of the Bad Movies We Love podcast, which I will be appearing on, I believe, next week as you hear this. He's trying to align my episode talking about a movie called Bone Lake. Bone Lake, everybody. I watched Bone Lake, as did Nick, and we had, honestly, one of the most intellectual, interesting conversations about the movie Bone Lake you're ever going to find. I was probably trying to be smarter. Now, I was also a complete dope because early on, I mixed up two of the characters' names and had a bunch of great points about the symbolism. And then I realized with 80% of the way through the show, I messed it up and I felt real stupid. And by that point, you can't go back. You just got to fight through it. So if you want to listen to me embarrass myself, but also have some other thought-provoking conversations, Bone Lake on the Bad Movies We Love podcast. Go check out Nick's show. He's excellent, by the way. And I think you will enjoy that right there. And now I'm going to kick it back to Sam to take us home.